Come on. Hey, yo, Mr. Cameraman, if you do it, we got a party going on. Cameraman, can we get both hands up for like 2 seconds? Come on, man.
Yeah, they had us bopping our heads, our hand. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Their set lasted quite a while, but overall it was good. They left us on a high for Miss Hill. Then, one more DJ set. The DJ came back on to set the mood. Oh, the sun. So the DJ came back on to set the mood for Miss Hill. So she was playing a lot of 90s music. Jesus, how are they going to do this? She was playing a lot of 90s music and music from the 70s, like Aretha Franklin, James Brown, that we're familiar with, just to set the mood. However, yep, people were getting a bit antsy. And I always say people were getting a bit antsy. This DJ set lasted for over an hour. So we're there, then it's 8 o'clock, DJ's still playing. So what started happening was people started chanting, Lauryn, Lauryn, Lauryn. So DJ's a master manipulator, right? So whenever people started shouting and asking for Lauryn Hill, she would play some music to distract them. Then they would just start dancing. Then they forgot Lauryn wasn't on stage yet. Then they danced, then they start getting antsy again. Then they would start for Lauryn, and she'll play more music to distract them. Or say something awesome like, how's it going, Vancouver? Then they'll shout, yeah, great. And they forgot. This is how you control the sheeple. Whenever someone tries to rise up and start a revolution, throw them a distraction, they get distracted. Hey, you're in control again. Anyways, after an eternity, Miss Hill finally made it on stage.
You already know what's about to happen, so please show your love for the Queen!
And she's very beautiful in person. She has such a grace and elegance. But, you know, the crowd was kind of irritated before she came. So the energy was kind of off. Even how I was in my head. I started over-analyzing her performance. And initially, she didn't live up to hype that the level that De La Soul had left the crowd with. She wasn't bringing that energy to us. She wasn't very interactive with the crowd, really. She just seemed almost unprepared. But I'll tell you why in a bit. That may have been the case. But she performed, then she stopped, gave a little speech.
Same experience. And then to share with people who did have similar experiences so that we could together, appreciate this long history and this long tradition of music and make it relevant in our time. So it was about building bridges, it was about closing gaps, generational gaps, and putting us in a position where we had something to say as a collective, to the cosmos in our time, in our dispensation, that was relevant and soulful and deep. I appreciate your support. I appreciate that you appreciate
Keep in mind, we're in Vancouver, right?
It's the 20th,
and it rains a lot.
years.
It's been raining all day. While she was on stage, it started to rain again. Just, well, drizzle. And while performing I think it was after she performed the X Factor, she enchanted us. We fell under her spell. It started pouring and we almost never realized that it was raining cats and dogs. This woman was captivating. The entire crowd was just singing along, rocking towards the sound of her voice. Was brilliant. Then, she's like, okay, I'm gonna do something special for Canada. So she dropped the X Factor disc for Drake. The crowd was loving it. Then, bam! Thank you, Canada. But rather, thank you, Vancouver. Concert was over. 10:16. She's only been performing for an hour. What happened? Let's just say people weren't happy with that. And I wouldn't be, right? We waited 4 hours for a concert and then out of nowhere, abruptly you end. It was her fault. Her reputation actually preceded her to this concert. If she had performed early, we would have had a full set. But because of the park closes at 11, they had to close the concert so the park officials could usher everyone out the venue and have the venue cleaned up by closing time. So after the concert, that's when the rumors begin, right? But before I jump into that, Miss Hill is clearly someone that works based on intuition. So she comes on stage whenever she feels like. But one has to agree. There's personal appointments and professional appointments. And you should always be early to your professional appointments. You can't let the public suffer for your intuitive nature. Or just don't perform. So, on her way out of the venue, I heard a guy complaining that she didn't perform any songs from her album and how she hated her album. That's not true. But guess what? Because she left a bad taste in his mouth, now he's going to tell all his friends that she did that. And then there's more rumors on the internet. But yeah, who cares in the end? But yeah, show up early when you're going to perform. Or at least go on stage in a timely manner. I also want to point out that Miss Hill is the true definition of a diva. Though that word isn't always a compliment, but she's a diva in every sense of the word. She was grand. She's larger than life. So after the concert, the most interesting thing in my day happened. Don't know if I'm going to share. I may share actually. So I told you it was raining cats and dogs, so I decided to take the bus all the way to the train station instead of transferring. And I was starving. I wanted to go to Denny's to get me a veggie burger, but I was going to walk in the rain or take a mini cab ride just to get Denny's. So I went to Timmy's, right? And I got a muffin and some tea. And while there, I was in Timmy's with my muffin and my tea. I was waiting for the cab that the guy said he called for me. Then an East Indian lady came in and told me that a guy's stalking her. Apparently this young man just jumped out of Apparently this young man jumped from behind the wall to scare her and then followed her to the store. So she came in for safety. While she was standing, The young man came in the store and he walked up to the counter. Then he walked back out because everyone was staring at him, and he's like, "Why the fuck are you guys looking at me like I'm an alien?" And he left. So I went outside, saw a cab pull up. Thought it was my cab, but it wasn't. It was a cab driver who needed coffee. So I asked him if he's on duty, and he said, "Yeah, he's gonna get coffee, and I can book him to take me home." Because remember, it's like pouring cats and dogs at this point in time. So I was outside. I saw the young man coming back towards me. I was standing in the dark. So I'm like, you know what? Let me move over. So I walked towards Tim Hortons, and while walking over, he came over to me, and he's like, "Oh, do you have any change?" I'm like, "No, I didn't think I had any change. But even if I had change at that point in time, I wouldn't have given it to him." So he went in back towards the counter, and he was there. I looked over, I saw him sitting beside a carton of milk. I thought it was his. Then it was cold outside, so I went in, and on my way in, he was coming out, so I stopped him, and I asked, "Are you hungry?" And he's like, "Yes." And the reason why I stopped him, because I remember watching a video of Miseducation. I'll leave the link in the description to that video. It's an interview, rather, and she talked about hunger, and that stayed with me forever. And I walked him to the counter, ordered him some food, and this guy broke down crying. It was a young kid, mind you. It's like, "You don't know how much this means, yada 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 yada." But I didn't think it was anything so profound, but he was starving. And the Starbucks card I got earlier, I gave it to him so he can get a meal. But I should have followed my intuition and take his number, but I didn't. I was in so much rush to leave. I didn't take his number. I called the store back and gave them my number to give him, because I called the store and asked if he was still there. They say yes, but he's fast asleep because he ate the meal and fell asleep. So I gave them my number to give him. So hopefully he'll get back to me so I can hook him up. There's someone I know who may be able to take care of him. So this goes to show you when young people are rebellious, they're not just rebellious for the sake of rebellious. There's always something behind it. So let's take care of our young people. Be a guide. Thank you so much. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'm in Gastown now, so I'm gonna get me some food. Ciao.